Hello and welcome to SoBricks. I'm Adam and this is SoBricks. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Lego Vidiyo Robo Hiphop car set. This is set number 43112. It has 387 pieces and I paid like $16 for this set. So this is a set that is from 2021. It is a video set, which was like this sort of part of a kind of with Hidden Side and some of these other things. It's like not augmented reality or something, but integration with like smart devices. In this case, it was about making music videos, and there are some special like tiles in video sets that are called like beat bits or something like that, and it's essentially about making music videos using some like when you scan the beat bits on your device with the app or whatever, it gives you sound clips or songs, and then you can make a music video with some of the things in here. Now, video is retired. It was sort of a theme that I don't think was especially popular. This retailed for $30 in 2021. And the theme is notable because it has some crazy minifigures, like some really impressive, really awesome minifigures. Some of them are more desirable than others. They did kind of some CMF style blind boxes of figures for these. They also did these figure boxes, which I think they called them beat boxes, which would come with like a figure and like some of the beat bits and stuff like that. I have some of those sealed, but I don't have any of the kind of CMF style ones. There are a couple that are extremely valuable. The Blue Dragon was in the like second series of kind of CMF video adjacent stuff. The Blue Dragon I think goes for over $100 for that figure. There's also a Red Dragon that comes in actually one of the beat box sets, and I think that set maybe goes for around like $50-ish, and that figure is about that value, and those are very, very cool. I would love to get those. The beat boxes that I have actually are another like Robo Hip Hop or Hip Hop Robot or something. I have like a mermaid one, I think. I have the Punk Pirate, and there's some really cool minifigure accessories. Like the Punk Pirate has like a guitar piece that is shaped like an anchor, and there's like a llama headed character, and there's all these other characters. There was several sets that have like more building in them. I thought this was really interesting because it's like a car. I like vehicles. Kind of reminds me of an old MTV show about like customizing cars with a certain aesthetic and features and functions and stuff like that. So I really wanted to check this out, and it's the first video set that I'm going to be, building and handling in person. So I'm excited to see what it has to offer. I do not know if the app is still in service or like if it's still available. These haven't been out of production for too long, but with Nexo Nights and with Hidden Side and with all of this other stuff where we're like scanning things with our phones to then do whatever, some of those apps go defunct after a while and Lego stops supporting them. So I'm not going to be commenting on that. I'm going to be talking about this just purely as a Lego set, and I'm excited to dive into it. So in this video, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. So while I build, I will speed the video up, and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy. Okay, so while we look at the build for this Lego Vidiyo Robo Hiphop car, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and then remind you, if you like this video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. That helps me a lot. This build actually doesn't have a ton of like innovative, amazing building techniques. I do happen to think that it's very fun and cool, and so I was like happy to put this together. It comes together relatively quick. We're doing a lot of studs just up here, laying the groundwork for this vehicle. It is like 8 wide, but then it does become wider at various points. But and then I did think I had like a weird extra piece that I've eventually figured out where it was supposed to go. It was supposed to go in one of the minifigures here. Onto the next bag of pieces, we're going to add some more of the details here, kind of some of the functionality for this set as well, which is really, really cool. And I do go in depth with for the full review. We're working on kind of these speaker stacks here, which have some nice kind of different color blocking and different kind of themes there. And then we're working on some more of the details at the rear, which has some very funny little stuff going on there. We're also going to add kind of the finishing touches. We're going to add the tires, the wheels, as well as this kind of final sort of a robot head piece, which will go in the middle with some nice brick built details for that. So that's very, very cool. And we're getting close to the end of this. So thank you very much. And now on to my review for this set. Okay, so this is the Lego Vidiyo Robo Hip-Hop car set. This is pretty cool, pretty interesting stuff here, and there's a decent amount to look at, especially considering like the price that I paid for this, which seems to be about market price either way, but I think was less than what it retailed at. But this is pretty cool. I said at the beginning, some of the big things from the video series at the very least is like the minifigure parts that are exclusive there. There are some pieces that, are, I think, desirable for mock makers or kind of custom minifig people because they really kind of went all out with some of these video figures. They feel very similar to some CMFs in some case, and there was kind of a mystery collectible minifigure video series as well. That's where that blue dragon comes from, as well as some other really cool ones. And so there's like really good stuff with the minifigures, and they're really, really unique. So we will look at those first. And the first one, we have this Robo Hip Hop character. I just would call it like a hip hop rapper sort of thing. They do have a guitar here, so it's one of these guitars which we've seen the mold for this before, but I don't think we've ever seen like the printing like that. So it's kind of got those zebra stripes printing on it. Really good attention to detail there. Overall, just a solid Lego piece. And looking at this figure itself, Lego has a history for their own internal properties: Ninjago, Hidden Side, Chima, Nexonites, like stuff like that. Dreams more recently, Video I think would count under that as well. Like kind of going all out for the figures here, and this is a super detailed figure. So the first thing to note is the hair piece or the head piece. There is one piece on the back. There's a stud on the back. This is a dual molded piece that has these like kind of sci-fi robot goggles going around there with a sort of display on them that is printed on there, and it looks like it's different levels or meters. Something about it feels very like Daft Punk inspired, even though it's obviously different. And then we have this really cool hair, which I think is white, but it may be sort of like that light aqua or something. Kind of looks like dreads or something coming up through there, but these tight kind of rolls of hair, which is really, really nice. So this is a unique piece. We do have a stud on the back. We've got like these earpieces here, and a different one over on the other side, which is really cool. So this is like dual molded and has printing on it for the hairpiece, and it does sit just over the eyes of the minifigure. Looking at the minifigure head underneath there, I believe this is on the pearl gold head, and we have some really interesting printing for this robot hip hop guy, or character, and so really nice printing, kind of metallic printing on there, which is great. Beneath that, there is actually a hood piece here. So for a hoodie there, and I believe for some hidden side characters, there was ones where the headpiece had kind of the hood coming around the front and had the baseball cap on and then had the hood like up over the character. This is one where occasionally they do hoods just printed on the back, but this is maybe under some other layers there. So this is his own piece. I'm not super familiar with seeing this. So it's like a hoodie type piece. It's kind of that rubbery plastic there. So it's a little more flexible. And that goes between the head and the torso. And then looking at the torso itself, it's super detailed. We get this kind of open sort of jacket there with some different kind of colors, a lot of metallic printing, some circuitry and different stuff like that. There's nice layering in here. The arms are different colors, so they're both kind of a sort of a metallic-y silver, dark gray, metallic gunmetal gray kind of color, but they are not the exact same, which is really cool. And that's mirrored on the jacket there. It's almost like it's got a zipper, but it's like half open up the bottom. So we see a little bit underneath there. Back of the torso has some like music stuff here. It does have the hood printed on there. The white for that is not great. It should be more opaque, but it does get covered up by the actual like hood piece here, but it does not match kind of like what the legs are looking like there. We do have printing on the midsection for this belt area, and we have printing on the legs, which is kind of some other like circuitry or like PCB kind of wiring on there as well. So that is very, very cool. So overall, this is like a really detailed figure. Now, I believe this like hair piece, I don't know if it's the same exact one. Let me actually grab something quick. So here I have actually the sealed video beatbox thing here, and this is the hip hop robot beatbox. And we can see, the printing for the torso and for the legs is different. This one has a different accessory. It's got some like extra arms there, and the hairpiece is the same, but it's molded with different colors and has a different print, not only a different color print, but a different design on there, which is very, very cool to see. This also just has a lot of different stuff going on for the rest of this. So this is one of the beatbox things here, and here we can see a more detailed look at that. I actually have a couple of these beatbox things. I have the candy mermaid there, which is really cool. So the mermaid tail, but with sort of like an ice cream cone type detailing and candy and different stuff. Really cool hairpiece as well. I have the Punk Pirate. This is one that I mentioned at the beginning. It's got this really, really cool guitar that kind of looks like an anchor. Again, like dual molding for the hair. This one's got arm printing on it. And it has like the hook hand, really detailed print all throughout. It's got printing on both arms for maybe like tattoos and sort of the wrist areas there. So really unique. And these, there's the like, I think it's the it's like the rock and roll red dragon character, and there is a bunch of other characters in here, including some like kind of spooky ones. I know there's a they call it like a screamer or like a banshee singer or something like that, which is sort of like horror inflected. And there's a couple other things, lots of different kinds of music. There's like an ice cream cone like saxophonist. There is a unicorn, I believe. There is a llama. There's like a cat person. There's tons of cool stuff there that are in like beatboxes like that, maybe in other sets like this, and then in the kind of collectible random figures there. So interesting to see that there is, other kind of variations of this hip hop robot or a similar character using similar pieces, but completely redone there. So we do get that one. We get another one here, which I'm just gonna say is like another hip hop robot, but a bit different. So really, really cool hairpiece here. I want to say this is gold, which is great to see for the hairpiece there. And it's kind of like a wavy sort of long hair. It's swooped over to one side, and this one's like pushed back, so we can see something there. I don't see this hairpiece being used a ton, but it's really, really cool. Looking at the head underneath that, we have kind of that dark metallic gray gray there, sort of gunmetal gray, with the metallic printing for the face. This one's got like a more kind of complete like face panel there, which is excellent to see. They do have a microphone here, which has the gold painted top on it. The torso itself is great. It is sort of like a hoodie there, again with some circuitry type marks, some metallic printing, the drawstrings up around there. Has this interesting kind of band in the midsection, which either could be like pockets or something, but there's some really fine detail in there. This one on the back has like a little music sign there, which the other one did kind of as well, but a different kind of thing here. It does have the hood printed on there. This one doesn't come with a hood piece that goes around the neck. It would have been cool to get that in a different color, but I do not believe it would have worked with this hair because of where the hair sort of sits on the front and back. So that wouldn't have been compatible there. But the back of the torso has some really detailed printing. Very, very cool and unique. And there's no printing on the arms. There is printing on the midsection. And then there's a bunch of printing on the legs. These are kind of another kind of dark gunmetal gray or metallic dark gray or black almost there. We have like printing, sort of almost looks like patchwork type stuff or just other like circuitry kind of up at the top and then down into the knees and onto the feet. So another very, very detailed figure here, which is super cool to see and like and unique. And these pieces, this one may not be super usable in other stuff, but this hairpiece in other colors or even this color is certainly something that could be used for people to make like all sorts of different kinds of characters. And in this case, it can also be like its own sort of Lego band or a musical artist that then can be used in the music video thing. The next thing here is this really interesting set of pieces. They're kind of these 4x6 plates with the ratchet hinges there. And then this piece. Now, I don't know what they call this. I think the beatboxes have a similar kind of deal in them, but maybe not exactly the same. It actually uses some big pieces in here. Oh yeah, it does have that kind of stand piece there with the two like wings, and I think that's what like slots in here. But then has this interesting like handle piece, has the whole piece around there, has like these interesting pieces used for like collecting or holding the beat bits. You can see here this one includes 16 special effect beat bits, but they are semi-random. Some are consistent per like character, so you'll get those, but then the rest are random. I think that's the case with this one as well. So we do have that like special piece here, which you can use to stand up the figures. We also have this is printed. This is a beatbox piece or a boombox piece rather. So we got like the speakers and some controls, maybe a tape deck in there as well. So that's very cool. And this is really unique because it's got texture. So if I scrape through like these speaker things here, that's actually molded in there. Like the grate kind of thing over there, those are like recessed in a little bit and molded into the plastic, which is really special and cool. I don't see that a ton. And then it has the printing around the rim and then the printed details there. So really cool to get that on just kind of this 1x3 brick with the special kind of mold for the side. And it's got a couple of studs up top, has the bar element for the middle. This is really nice. Would love to see this being used in other sets. And then we do have the beat bits here. So this comes with 16 as well. I just arranged these randomly and I don't know what they're necessarily like supposed to look like. I want to say the two that are maybe like specifically for this character are this one here and this one here. Now, these do have some methodology to them based on the color of the tile that they are operating on. So there's a couple different colors. I think there's like teal, yellow, green, orange, pink, and black, and they're different things there. All of these are printed. All of these beat bits are printed pieces. There are no stickers in this set, so really interesting to get these 2x2 tiles with different prints. I don't know the names of all of these or what the effects are, but I can kind of guess, oh, this one might be one that's specific to this, and then maybe one of these aren't. Maybe that one's not, or something. But this one's kind of like a springtime flower thing. We have kind of the graffiti robot thing here. I can't remember what this one does, but it's got a lot of different colors. This one, in like when scanned, it has some music or sound effect associated with it, but it's also like a prop or a costume. So some of the different things are like dance moves, some of them are like video effects, some of them are like costume things, some of them are, I mean, there's just a range of different stuff here. So this one gives all of the characters in the music video like pom poms. This is a mummy. I think that's kind of a costumey thing as well. The astronaut one makes the characters in like astronaut outfits and sort of floating around. This one, I think I have it oriented the wrong way, but that is like a throwing tomatoes at them, like rotten tomatoes. This one is like a special effect, a cool like fire explosion thing. This one's like a portal that will send characters like through a portal and come out another one. This one, which seemed kind of like emo or goth to me, which was really cool to see because it's kind of got a skeleton there and the kind of sort of goth emo type hair as well. And I like the black and white of it, and the actual printing for the white on some of these, like the opacity for some of these is actually, really good compared to what I'm used to seeing from Lego. So that is really, really great. This one is like an X-ray effect, so it'll make the minifigures in the video. You'll see like their skeleton through there or something. I can't remember what this one is, but all of these, like I say, have like different effects. On the back, this one is sort of I think a 50s or 60s kind of groovy, or maybe more of a kind of like an Elvis-y type thing. This one, I believe, is like a slow motion effect on there. Really cool. This one is like heart balloons that will rise up in the video. And this one, I think, replaces some of the sound, either the instrumentals or the vocals, with kazoo sounds, which is very, very funny and cool to see. So a bunch of these, and they're like semi collectible, semi not, but they did have a effect associated with them when like recognized by the app when scanning things in. And all of the video sets sort of make use of these. This is sort of the gimmick from these. As I understand it, some are rarer than others, but there's also the ones that are like only associated with the characters, a specific character. So like the blue dragon one, I don't know what their special tiles look like. I know for like the beatboxes I have, there's like many random ones, but there's like maybe two that are exclusive to those figures, which are, I guess, attainable to get. These aren't particularly valuable. I think they could be used in mocks as like extra detail things, especially, well, depending on what the cityscape is, just even using this as like a poster or something else, it could uh, get some nice detail in a place, in a city place, in Ninjago City, anything like that to kind of just make it slightly more interesting and whatever. So, but I think, these are a couple cents a piece for these. If you're looking for specific ones, there might be ones that are more expensive than that, but for the most part, pretty straightforward. So those are like the beat bits we have here. I just popped these on the side because I didn't know where else to put them necessarily. And then the rest of the set and the actual kind of build here, I know there was a lot going into the figures and some of this other stuff, is this hip hop or robo hip hop car. This is a really, really cool build here, and some fun little stuff in there. So color scheme is very nice. It's very like robotic, techno. I love all the black and white that is used. It does not use a standard chassis down here, so we build it up with a lot of plates, some like axle pieces in there that just have the Technic pin coming off of them, and it's built actually pretty straightforward for the most part. It is studs on top. There's a couple like studs on the side pieces to kind of round out various parts there. Because this is sort of like a souped up version, or like that MTV show or VH1 show or whatever that was like about customizing cars or their rides or whatever. And sometimes they would do like outlandish, crazy things. I think this is like in general sort of inspired by that, even though it's maybe coming like way too late for that. But really, really cool. It's kind of like a lowrider convertible muscle car here. We do have a space for a figure to sit. No steering wheel on this. We do have the printed kind of vinyl or disc piece there, and then use the kind of lever or antenna piece as the needle on that. Looking at the front, we have like a kind of hood ornament with the gear here. We have the lights, which are really cool. Some gold in there, gold here. Nice grill area. These pieces with the rail are really nice. There's actually some function here as well. We do have the like roof tiles, which are used really nice. The lights can actually go away, so they can turn kind of to this blue color here, similar to some hidden side stuff. That's a color that pale blue they use. Now, these can only rotate like one way, so we can't just spin them infinitely. It's like there and there, and once it's there, it's stopped. So that is nicely considered. There's just those two kind of main places it can go, and it can't move further than that or anything else, which is cool. We do have like the kind of hood design here, which is something we see other places as we move backwards through there. Besides that, this is like 8 wide generally. It does obviously get much wider at various points, and that is to be expected there, but we do have room for a figure to sit. Just uses some standard fender pieces in here for the kind of area around the wheels. These wheels are like kind of the older Speed Champion type wheels, that they're not like molded together with the rubber and the rim in there. So you do put those together, and then we do put the stud on the gold stud there, which is really nice. All of the like subtle little, not subtle, but the gold accents through this are really, really cool. And as we build back through the rear, we do have these wings that kind of come out. And these are to be like giant speakers of some sort. So with like lights and speakers and different stuff there. These are on turntables as well, and there's some interesting stuff there. But this one's kind of this green and yellow and white kind of speaker system. In the instructions, it actually shows like what they might look like in the video, which is a little bit more detailed, a little bit more involved. And then in the middle, we have this sort of like robot, almost Transformers-esque kind of face, using some nice pieces. The boomerang piece here, nice gold pieces, kind of like the headphones or ear muff type things there. This is really nicely designed as well, just brick built detail in there. So these kind of correspond with each other, and these also have a function and feature. So these can rotate. So again, they only rotate one way. They're on just a standard turntable, but they use some pieces underneath to stop them from rotating. So we can move them like that. This one we can move like that. These are cool because it's a different kind of color scheme here, and a different piece used for the speaker or the actual like, what do they call it, like a driver there, and or subwoofer or whatever it might be. They have like some different kind of things here, and I'm imagining in the music video app thing, like the changing those things would have some different effect on the actual output of the video. So we can swap those, and that means we can actually swap the head too. Now this one feels very Transformers to me, and I don't know like the specific Transformer that it reminds me of the most, but again, like a really, really cool brick built detailed kind of robot face on there. We're using like these exhaust pieces, some tiles underneath, these like vented pieces here. Nice choices for the kind of mouth area and the nose. This just feels really, really cool to me, and it kind of matches the color scheme there. And then if we were to like spin these, maybe that would match that color scheme a little bit more as well, even though it's not the exact same kind of blue color there. So we do get that different kind of thing through there, which is great to see. So, and then the head, yep, the head only spins one way. It's got like a little stopper on it, so we can spin it like that. We can't twist it anymore this way. We can just twist it back when it's there. We can't like twist it, so it's just, this way or this way, which is well considered as well. Like all of these moving pieces, they don't just spin randomly. I mean, this one's kind of on a ratcheted one, so it's a little bit different, but you can't like overspin it or keep it spinning, just 360 degrees. It's just got a limited degree or limited, rotational degree there. And that's the same for these. It's just can flip back and forth. It can't like overspin or keep going that way. Same for these, same for the headlight areas there, which is cool. I was happy to see that. The techniques to achieve that are pretty straightforward, but that is nice. Frankly, I like these speaker kind of assemblies a lot. I like this face slightly more. These are cool because it does use that like rim or wheel well piece or hubcap piece, which is used on some speed champions and different things kind of for the speaker, which is a nice use of pieces. And then we have the rear, kind of the trunk area of this. And this is where it really, I think, besides just like the over tuned speaker system and all the other like cosmetic customizable things here, this is where it really goes into like, I think, maybe an overt reference to the MTV show I was sort of talking about, because at the back here, we have a bath or a hot tub or something like that. So one of the things here on the trunk, we have like a fold out screen. This is printed as well. I think this is supposed to be like a TV or a monitor. That's a printed piece on a 2x4. So great to see that. It's actually in that show. If you know the one I'm talking about, it's not uncommon to see like TVs mounted on the doors and mounted on the roof and mounted on the headrests or mounted on the trunk or the tailgate or anything like that. It kind of has that look here. But then we have what looks to me to be kind of like a hot tub or a bath back here, which is sort of the zany, crazy, type imaginative, like completely impractical thing that they would do on that show occasionally. And so we have like the gold sort of faucet thing here. We got that light bluish kind of plate at the bottom. We can fit a figure in there. There's a couple clear tiles to kind of maybe indicate bubbles or different things like that. And then over on the side, we have these gold chalices. Now, I don't know if these are supposed to be like ketchup and mustard necessarily, but maybe they're supposed to be bubble bath or shampoo and conditioner, or maybe there's something for going in the cups. These cups, I think there's a drink called like the Pimm's cup. And that's also been, there's like a colloquial thing, I think, called like a Pimp's cup, which is the show I'm referencing is like Pimp My Ride is what it was called. And I think these kind of can fit that way. So it's sort of like a chalice. I know there are certain hip hop artists or different things who have like bedazzled or bejeweled sort of chalices that they drink out of, and that was a thing for a time, maybe still is. So I don't know what these bottles are necessarily supposed to be, but there's all these accessories here. There is a clip with a one of these wrenches, kind of the oversized wrenches there. We get the exhaust, the back. We do have the impression of some lights on the back. Excuse me, sorry about that. And there is like the red translucent used at various spots to kind of indicate that. And that's kind of everything that's in this set. If I was going to be like, populating this with the characters here, I might do something like this, and maybe just based on color scheme, I would have it this way, and maybe we can find a place for this to attach. I'm not sure if that's intended or not, but we can kind of load these up in here. I'll have sort of the beat bits there, but we could put the beat bits on these, and I think that's what is intended there. These could also be places to have the minifigures to stand them up, so on the hood and on top of the speakers there. That could be used as well. So they do make these sort of framed, sort of tiled out pieces with the gold sort of jumper in there. So you could use that for the video production there. But right now, I kind of like this because the color scheme of like the torso is sort of matching the color scheme of like the robot head and the speakers there. Can flip these around to maybe get even more kind of meshing of the kind of color scheme. And then when we look at the back, when we look at the figure that's back here, kind of has more of that yellow or green or different stuff. So then we have this one facing back, and they are enjoying a time in the tub there. I did clip the guitar on the rear, and it does fit in there, although it's not clipped in like perfectly. If I were to turn it upside down, it would clip in a bit better. I don't know if that's like totally intended, but I love when accessories have a space for them to occupy. And that's kind of everything that's in this set. It's this really souped up car, maybe a music video car or a show car or something like that, with a bunch of like funny references, interesting pieces, some really good minifigures. And then, of course, it has all of the sort of not augmented reality, but the actual like video element of this, which is via the app that Lego made or worked with some company to make, that will scan all of these beat bits and will be able to do those things that I sort of described there. So this is actually like a cool amount of stuff. I mean, I love the idea of doing kind of a pimp my ride type thing in a Lego city where it feels kind of like a movie-esque, but just like really over the top customizations. It feels very much in the spirit of Lego and they like reinforcing creativity and things of that nature to just like, okay, here's a car, but I want a bathtub in it and I want, or a hot tub in it. Here's a car, but I want like a fridge and a fish tank and a game console. Here's a car, but I want the speakers to be like obscene and I want it to have kind of a Transformers vibe and stuff like that. And I think this delivers. I mean, this is a unique little thing from a bygone theme, and I really really like this. I thought it was super fun. I really didn't expect the kind of stuff back here, and the production work on a lot of this stuff is great. There are no stickers in this set, so everything is printed or like brick built detail on here, which is super nice to see. I think the minifigures are very good quality. Like I say, these aren't particularly valuable, but for people that were using this to make videos and stuff, maybe these effects, people had their favorites and maybe ones they didn't like as much. And it's great to get a bunch of them and still like, crazy to think, they Lego was producing a bunch of these and then because they're random, like putting them in other sets. So they're not just like single use things, but they're really specialized prints that you don't necessarily see them doing at this level for other themes or in the modern era. So that's cool. And then like just innovating a ton on the minifigures with new kind of designs and kind of pairing different genres of music and different instrumentation with like different sort of fantasy, sci-fi, characters, horror theme stuff, kind of going throughout. So you get more like jazz or kind of classical music. You get kind of rock and roll. I think there's some like country ones, maybe with some cowboys and different things. You get sort of zany stuff like the llama headed one. You get the robots. You get the pirates, the all of this different stuff kind of in the same series. And I think it's executed really well here. This is a lot of fun. Now, I don't believe video sold particularly well. And I think there's, a few reasons for that. But before we get into that, I'll show the extra pieces. Not a ton, nothing like super specialized here, but just your 1x1s, your studs, your tiles, extra microphone with the gold there. And then all of your cheese wedges, different pieces, the kind of lever antenna piece that's used for the needle on that record player up front. All of that good stuff is used here. So we get extras of those. And this set is 387 pieces, 2 minifigures. It retailed for $30, I want to say, in 2021 or maybe 25. I know I referenced it at the beginning of the video. I paid $16 for this. It was up for sale online. I think it was listed at like $20 and maybe $5 shipping or something. And I submitted an offer to the person. They accepted the offer. And so it was like 16 out the door. And then I maybe paid $5 for shipping or something. So that's $21. When you look at this set on Bricklink, sealed, complete in the US, it's around that $15 to $20 range for this. So it's not something that's like gone up in value. That said, like the dragon figures and some of the more desirable figures are like very expensive compared to what one would have paid to get them when these were on the shelves. So there is a range within the video kind of line, but like there's just some really cool figures, really cool stuff that video is doing that I would love to see, brought back in various forms or referenced in certain ways, So I thought this was great. Frankly, the price that I paid for this feels really, really good. I mean, to get almost 400 pieces for $20 or less is great. Two minifigures, like really high quality minifigures with like new elements, dual molded stuff. Some of these in the video series have arm printing and all different things. Getting all these printed tiles and specialized pieces, and then having just frankly a really serviceable build that's like a fun toy. It's playful, it's creative, and the build isn't particularly unique or like innovative in terms of the building techniques or the piece usages there, but the end toy of this is really, really solid and well considered. So I think this is pretty great, and I'm super happy to have been able to look at this. And I do have those other sealed beat boxes there, which maybe I'll look at. They don't have a ton of building, as far as I know. They all have around like 70 pieces, one figure, a bunch of these beat bits, and then kind of some other stuff for either like storage or different things. Those seem kind of more like Mario character packs or something like that, but so just a little bit different. I don't know if I'm going to open those. I might look at getting other uh video sets. There aren't very many of them, but I think there is like a punk pirate ship one, which I would be interested in seeing. It's like a similar piece count to this. I think the biggest piece count I think was like $900, or sorry, $900, 900 pieces, and it sort of was like a boombox stereo type thing that could then like be opened up and made into a stage or something along those lines, and they could all be used as like backdrops and integrated into the actual music video type things that people were creating with these. So I might try to locate some of those and get a look at them. I would love to be able to get a blue dragon or a red dragon, or both. I don't really want to spend the market price for those, and the way to get them like organically. I mean, the red dragon, maybe I could see spending $30 just to get that figure in the box, but I think the market value is a little bit higher than that. If I got it not in the box used, maybe the market value is closer to what I would pay. The blue dragon, because it was in kind of this collectible CMF type thing for the video series, and that was in series two, like getting those sealed and trying to pull it is probably very difficult, and the sealed ones are expensive, and then like just buying a set of 12 of the sealed ones is also, over $200, mostly because of the blue dragon that's included in there. So that makes up the majority of the price of that in terms of market value. So it's not like super accessible to get. I think it would be unlikely to find those kind of video minifigure series two just sealed on the store shelves. I don't remember if they're boxes or if they're bags, if they can be scanned or if they can be felt to determine what is in them. Maybe that can increase, but I think a lot of the blue dragons are probably picked through. I don't know 100% of that, and then it's just going to be difficult to like find those on the store shelves or somewhere where they would still be around. So this is my first kind of really um, introduction to the video series. I think this is really cool, and maybe it wasn't received the best. Maybe it wasn't the best theme for Lego. They put a lot into it. I think this is great looking back. But the sort of smart device integration stuff, we've seen it with many other themes, is usually not the best. And I understand like Lego, like so much of things are moving to screens and moving to screens. But I also think one of the beautiful things about Lego is that like it's pulling people away from screens, sort of get hands-on, get creative, get imaginative, like do different stuff here. And so I have this mixed feeling about that kind of integration there. I think it makes sense for them to go that way, but I also see that, a lot of these things haven't maybe taken off as well as Lego would have hoped. So I could also like let that go, but getting super unique characters like this and cool builds like this just really puts a smile on my face. So I thought this was like super fun and great, and I'm really happy with the price that I paid for this. So I like it a lot, and I think that's it. So if you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including maybe more Lego video stuff, and then tons of other Lego sets from all different themes, all different shape, size, price point, piece count, old sets, new sets, retired sets like this, and then sets that are just coming out, and all of that good stuff. So if you're interested, subscribe. That helps me a lot, means a lot to me. If you want to support the channel in a different way, you can give money to the channel. I buy all these sets with my own money. I do put ads on my videos on YouTube. They I don't get a ton of views, and I don't put ads in like mid-roll until videos have been out and available for some time, usually a month, 2 months, something like that, and then I might put mid-roll ads on them, but for the most part, ads at the beginning, I think. And I don't make a ton off of YouTube ads. I maybe $30 a month or something like that on average, with just from like ads and stuff. But you can give money to the channel with membership supers and thanks. I just did a members only video looking at a different brand, a competing brick built toy and collectible brand, which is the Mattel Brick Shop. I looked at the Maserati set, the Hot Wheels one there. So that's kind of only for members and patrons. There is the Patreon, which you could also join. I think it's like $2 a month. I think the YouTube membership is the same, and I'm going to keep working on exclusive stuff for that and better sort of prizes or rewards for subscribing at that level. You can give money to the channel directly with like buy me a coffee link. In the description there is merch, so you can buy SoBricks merch. I'm thinking about maybe some SoBricks video type stuff. That's linked in the description. tpublic.com, and then search for SoBricks. There's some cool stuff there. It's sort of like streetwear, designer, fashion inspired, Lego adjacent, SoBricks adjacent shirts and hats and phone cases and all the other swag and merch there. So if you're interested, that's a good way to support the channel. And I've had a lot of fun designing that stuff. There'll be affiliate links down below. So if you click one of those links and you buy like lens cleaner or X-Acto knives or a roll of twine, or a backpack, whatever you're searching for, if you click one of my links and then search whatever you're going to buy anyway from that retailer, I might get a small commission on that sale, and every bit does help, so it does add up. And with all of that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.